Hey guys, Blue Sword here, and today we are going to watch the Legacy or Lucy or Game explores childhood trauma. Now, guys, I know I said I was going to start a series, and right now it isn't really working. If you guys saw the one of my live streams, which I don't think I'm going to put on YouTube. Basically, it isn't working. What I mean it isn't working is this: my pen isn't, connecting to my tablet. I don't know why. I really don't know. But right now it isn't working, so we gotta do these reaction videos instead of the little series of, and the series was supposed to be learning how to animate. Now you may be asking, am I learn? So you guys, I'm going to teach you how to animate? No, we're going to learn how to animate together because I have no idea how to. But I want to learn. I want to be better, and I want you guys to be on the journey with me. But it's not. But like I said, my pen ain't working right now. So yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do these reaction videos right now. I told you guys that like horror, so that's what we're doing right now, and we'll be watching this video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoy.
The idea of a flash game gone wrong being used in horror is very fascinating for my generation, who grew up playing cool math games on school computers when teachers weren't looking.
I love playing cool math games when I was younger. Like I will play it especially when my the teachers weren't looking. You'll have like the close the tabs on the top, and you'll be like, oh, and in the dangerous game modes, that one kid that for some reason has his volume all the way up for some reason, or forgot to turn it down. Just honestly, those were pretty good times.
Lacey games, the topic of today's
Lacey, okay.
video, is in my opinion the best instance of this idea, utilizing fantastic storytelling and art direction to convey a message that certainly needs to be said. The Fake Flash website features many games aimed at a young female audience, but something is wrong with many of these games. The games ask questions.
Are these real
Questions
games
like,
I can
what
play?
happens to
Or
girls who get abused, stalked, or assaulted by men?
oh,
What happens to girls who can't handle the stress of their work? What happens to girls who aren't pretty enough? If you've been on the channel for a long
well,
time, you'd know
that got
I've
worse.
covered Lacey games before, but that was a while ago. I figured most people
Those are like really tough conversations that a lot of people can't really handle. So so they just kind of put away without thinking. But I think it's good for people to talk about them because so they can be addressed and stopped. And I'm not sure what these Lacey games. At first I thought said Legacy. Haven't what they're gonna do yet. But if they're actual games, I probably gotta look it up. Actually, let me. Are these actual games? My bad. Do not. I'm just saying. Do not play this game, bro. Do not. I feel like I'm going to get scammed. Oh my god, this feel virus that's spreading onto here. Who the fuck is these guys? Jay? Alright, this is it. I've been waiting so long for this. I'm just so excited. You can be... You can... Wait, how can you be excited for a place like this? I'm not even trying to say that name. It's a haunted mansion. You know, it might be exciting in like movies and stuff, but this is real life. You really think ghosts and stuff exists? They don't. Don't worry, I really don't want to do this. Don't believe in anything Jay says. Mariah. Why do you all have kind of short names? Don't worry, ladies. I will be there to save you whenever the time comes. The night is shining armor, I swear. No one asked for you anything. You didn't have to ask. Damn. Do you hate it when some girls are just assholes? I'm just like, man, assholes. Try to make it, nah, just not nice. Asshole's not a nice word. Just, you know, just kind of have a murky attitude. And it's just kind of like, man, I'm just trying to have a little fun. I love the sight of, okay. Let's get each other in the building already so we can get this over with as soon as possible. Aye, aye, sir. Alright, let's get this. Alright. Oh, round. Am I controlling him? Or... I think I had to spit all over my camera, bro. No, my computer. Bro, I am not actually trying to play it. Why is the dialogue? Is there a skip? And why does she look like she has no hands? Okay. Why does he run like that? I'm not playing this, bro. Yes, tap to close, bro. This is not what I signed up for. Alright, let's go back to the video.
People watching this video now wouldn't have seen that video before, so I made a poll, and the vast majority agreed that compiling my previous video and adding new content to it would be the best viewing experience. Of course, there are timestamps for anyone who would like to skip forward, but I highly recommend sticking around for my analysis of the older episodes. Make sure to subscribe to Ghost Tundra, the series creator whose channel is at the top of the description. With all that out of the way, my name is Minaxa, and today we're going to take a deep dive into LaceyGames.com. The first video in the series is Lacey's Wardrobe, and it's framed as a lost 2006 Flash game.
Alright.
The game begins with a call to action. Lacey has a busy day today. In the morning, she will attend a picnic in the park. Then, in the afternoon, she must go shopping. Finally, she will have a date tonight with the cutest guy. Phew! But there's only one problem. She has no idea what to wear. Can you help Lacey put together the cutest outfits for each situation? And from there, we have our gameplay loop established. The player gets to pick from a variety of hairstyles and outfit options to dress Lacey exactly the way they like. It's easy to see how this game could be fun and engaging for a kid on the internet in 2006. I'd also like to add that I think the fantastic direction of the series shows almost instantly with the way that the frame is composed. The color used in Lacey's hair is an almost direct color contrast to the pastel pink used throughout the room and UI. The music is also a jam. And we can see the track names in the bottom left corner actually match the task. After the player finishes picking her outfit, we see Lacey outside for her picnic, and what the hell is that? The player finishes picking her outfit, we see Lacey outside
Now I feel really dumb. I was about to say, who is that?
for her picnic,
And then it switched to this. I'm like, who is this?
and
Like,
what the hell is that thing?
okay.
We transition back into Lacey's room, now tasked with dressing her to go shopping. I'm pretty sure the gameplay is identical, aside from the room now reflecting the sunset hours outside. But before we can get too comfortable, Lacey gets a phone call.
Lacey, did you see my text, Lacey? I can't wait to meet up, Lacey. I want to. Have a good time tonight with you, Lacey. Tonight. Bye-bye.
So now the player just has to
See, I knew I wasn't tripping or something, or maybe I was tripping and now I'm not tripping. But like you see him.
finish getting her dressed while that person from the forest stalks her outside her window, and once she finishes and goes to the mall, Lacey gives us a cry for help.
Please help. He's going to kill me.
We go back to her room, and she has to get dressed for her date now. The stalker
Is that TOS? Is it? I don't know. Right.
starts endlessly knocking on her front door. There's text that says, "There is a gift on your doorstep." And when the gift is revealed to us, it's an incomprehensible censored glob of red and crimson, which is subsequently cut off by another phone call.
Okay.
Lacey, I'm here. I'm here. Did you get my gift, Lacey? Did you like it? I'm here. Open the door, my darling. Open the door. Open the fucking door!
We go right back to dressing her, but not before we get the most bone-chilling realization in the entire video. Lacey starts directly pleading with the player, begging them not to let her outside to meet what awaits her.
Please don't make me go outside. Please. Please.
She's aware of what's going on, as well as the fact that she has zero control.
Does the game have voice acting, or is it this YouTuber doing it?
Over the situation. And lack of control is textbook horror. And it's brilliant. If we assume that Lacey is conscious within the game, then this is a situation she may have to relive every single time someone plays the game. Unfortunately for her, the player finishes the outfit and lets her outside, but not before Lacey can express the terror in where she's just been placed.
What have you done?
Then we get one more look at our killer.
Man, he's ugly.
He says, "I ate her remains so that we will be together forever. I love you, Lacey." And thus ends the game.
Okay, I have a lot to say and kind of I got a lot to say, also not a lot to say. One, I'm not blaming her. I would say I will grab a little one of these. But two, um, this game has I this game is obviously about Lucy getting stalked by this guy. We don't know who he is, or if he or maybe he'll be in another game that he's going to talk about. Bake I diner or bakery, her bakery or something. I just looked. But yeah, but I think the thing I thought it was going to show with her going to the mall is how much no one really shows interest of when someone needs help, especially especially when how people treat people who say they're being stalked. They're being stalked. Feels like sometimes, and I'm not a girl, cause and that's the thing, how I feel like I can't really speak on this correctly is because I'm not a girl. I am a big black, I am actually quite tall, honestly. I know I'm sitting down, but I'm actually quite tall. Um, I'm I'm 5'2". I mean, sorry, I'm 6'2". Got a little bit of muscle. I'm still actively going to the gym, and I actually have a pretty okay posture. I think when people see me, I think people are a little scared of me sometimes until like I introduce myself. But of course, I don't want that. But for like girls like Lucy, you know, so I feel like I can go, sometimes I can go outside and feel okay. I can never like vision someone following me purposely to hurt me. Like that in my head, I just can't see myself. But like with people kind of like Lucy, that's like a reality. And sometimes people don't take it seriously. Sometimes people make fun of it, which is messed up, you know? Especially people online.
To the title screen we go. Honestly, I don't understand how the horror in Lacey's can be so good. It manages to find the perfect balance between portraying an interesting narrative while actually being scary and visually authentic and pleasing at the same time. It's a really impressive feat that I think goes undeservingly unnoticed, even despite how popular it is. And with all that said, the direction only gets better in the next video, Lacey's Diner. The second video is titled Disturbing Secret Ending Found in 2007 Flash Game Lacey's Diner. Even just by the title, you can notice a stark contrast to the approach that was used previously, and the beginning of the episode confirms it, as we have
I wonder how they're going to like betray this next.
someone actually describing what's going on now from their own point of view. The player describes having found the game on a Flash archive site and feeling nostalgic because they used to play a bunch of Lacey games in their childhood. This was a great decision because that line alone opens the door to many possibilities within the series. The player goes on to describe how they found an ending they never came across in the past, though, which seems to imply that the games weren't always messed up like the one that we just saw. Then, we get our new instructions. Lacey is about to open her brand new diner. However, she will need your help to keep up with so many hungry customers. How to play. Add the correct items that Lacey requests into the main bowl.
By the
When you're
way,
done,
Crunchyroll, anti-anime, non-anime. You think just because you got rid of those, you slime them out? We we're gonna suddenly buy you now? I don't know. Nah, bro, but nah, I'm not gonna lie. Just because you think, nah, we ain't buying you now. I'm just saying. Back to the video.
it's time to serve the customers. However, don't take long. You know how people get when they're hungry. Then we cut to the kitchen. The specific dish instructions come from Lacey, and the timer in the corner begins counting down ominously. The player knows that the timer is incredibly generous, but they found that something strange happens when you run out of time. They let the timer run down and start playing the game normally, but towards the end, something strange does happen. Despite all that, the player seems to finish with almost no time on the clock.
Does this like show on how much people like just because they're not fast enough, they feel like they're not good enough? Type shit.
And the dish is completed as intended. Unlike the previous game, this game has multiple phases. Once you finish cooking the dish, you also have to serve it. The player states that they're going to play through the 3 days where you do the same thing to try and show off the game's normal ending. Now, the player wants to display what happens when you do run out of time.
Wait. I, wait, no. Does it say freak or fuck or?
You're going to notice that this video has some fast and difficult to decipher sequences, so I'm going to cover those after it's actually done. It seems like if you take it too long, the customers just leave. But there's always tomorrow. We get to see Lacey's diner from the outside, and Lacey says,
This is all I have. And the customers are hungry and unforgiving. If I fail, I see no other option. Other than...
Why the captions kind of slow?
Yeah.
Wait.
All of that happened on screen for the player. Yeah.
Nah. Oh.
Yeah. All of that happened on screen for the player. And apparently, the second day is even worse.
Fail. Whoa. Wait. Lacey. It's all about I can't without and they def put me on put me on death row. Wait. Put me on death row with Chris rope and brown boy. They okay, let me look up here. Growing up is all about I can't it says the Sego and put me on what's I knew I needed glasses. I can't read this. It took too long. Customers
Why
left.
can't these fucking bastards just wait 3 minutes for their fucking food? I'm trying my hardest, and yet I'm almost running out of money to survive. This isn't fair. It isn't fair at all. It isn't fair. I hate all of them. I hate them. Tomorrow, I'm going to give them something to eat, all right? They'll face what they did to me.
Welcome to Lacey's Diner. As you can see, the ingredients have all changed in some of the last things that you'd ever want to put into a meal,
Can I show you?
such as meth, broken glass, cigarette butts, and what's implied to be Lacey's own uncle. There's a plethora of screens full of information, but like I said, I do want to save those. Finally, we're presented with the finished dish.
Oh.
Then we get a genuinely nauseating sequence of the dish being served with gross noises, and
Uh-oh.
it's closed.
This is it then.
Lacey has taken...
I mean, well, no shit, no bad. Poison to the back of the thing.
Lacey has taken her own life. And the player's reaction is about what you'd expect it to be. The video seems to end there, but the final frame of the video is easy to miss if you're not paying close attention.
I'm in heaven.
Paying close attention of the scene. Lacey
What?
has taken... Lacey has
It's too scary.
taken
I'm
her
kind of scared
own
looking at that. I don't
life.
think
And
I'm
the player's reaction is about what you'd expect it to be. The video seems to end there, but the final frame of the video is easy to miss if you're not paying close attention.
Oh.
Alright, so I think in terms of raw horror, the first video may have been better in my eyes, but in terms of direction and writing, this one's unmatched. There's a lot of themes to unpack, but I think the one that's most evident is what comes from failure to meet expectations and how much of a burden that can have on someone. Not everybody handles pressure the same, and some people, like those battling depression and anxiety, struggle much more than others. Not only that, but the stakes are increased tenfold when you're placed into a situation in which you literally cannot fail, or your life will come crashing down. It seems like this is the situation that Lacey has been placed in. This diner is literally all she has. It's her life. If the diner falls, so does she. But having worked in food service, I know what impatient and hungry people are like. People who are entitled often don't treat the workers at restaurants like people, or attempt to understand what they might be going through. To them, they're just means to an end. What use are you if you can't even do something as simple as get them their food? But it runs even deeper. There's a clear underlying narrative in the episode as well. Right before the horror really started, there were two screens that I can't really make out much of. It seems to say,
Page 31, figure 58. What growing up is all about. Put me on death row. The skid rope and brown boy. They fished in the river and pulled out my body, pronouncing me dead in the name of the but in between. I had blown out the brains.
and the other one says,
While it was still twitching, for memories are no substitute, part of the ingrained paranoia was owed directly to the fact that they used to teach kids such perverse little bizarre lies that they passed off as the truth.
Other than that, most of the underlying story is all revealed in the short segments between ingredients in the final game.
These moments were hard to forget because they were super glued from my heels to my thighs, and not even the strongest bird beak could peck it off. The smoke tinted me in gray forever, and it made me tear up so much I almost cried in front of him once. Never again. First they dominated the ceiling of my room, but then I started seeing them everywhere. Bugs and bites and dirt and ash and vomit where they shouldn't have been. They were all but crisp and very jumpy, and I wanted to suck it all inside of me like a reverse frog dissection and end it all for once.
Wait, what?
He lived in a world of his own where he was desirable and sensual, and he got so deep into his lies that he believed what the computer would whisper to his ears. And when he looked down, he saw me on my little bruised knees smiling back at him, the exact size of his sweaty palms. Even though they could be shaky, he was always the type to see the positive in things, and he couldn't keep the mayo from raining all over it like a mad fever dream. What a relief! Any sense of wrongness was dissipated long before it got into his mind, and screams were inaudible to his ears. It was just bliss.
Hopefully, the meaning of all this should be clear, as unfortunate as it is. Lacey seems to have been a victim of an exceptionally traumatic childhood. She was likely abused in numerous ways by her uncle, who she may have been forced to live with growing up, as parents are never really mentioned, which is a whole thing on its own. He was incredibly neglectful and fully absorbed in the pursuit of dopamine, doing only what would please him in the moment with little care for what would happen to that innocent little girl who was his own blood. This is what Lacey's Diner is really about. Trauma, neglect, failure, and the results.
We really needed that power slide.
Check this out.
That's not true.
That's fire. Can I try?
The final episode in the series, as of now, Lacey's Pet Shop, is double the length of the previous. I think that's enough precedent, so let's get straight into it. The video starts with Lacey and her MP3 player, and we seem to have an interview with someone named Grace, who goes on to describe her experience dealing with many people finding the horror portions of Lacey's games. Meaning the games are tangible and actually happening in the world and not just something that we, the audience, get to see.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, one of the creators of the website that originally hosted Lacey Games has credited her as being a co-creator, to which she seems to deny. Eventually, she did play one of the games after incessant complaining from upset parents to check out what was going on, and as it turns out, they were right. It was called Lacey's Pet Shop.
Wait, is
Lacey has one of the most famous pet shops in town. People come from all over to buy their perfect...
It's confusing to say. Is Lucy a real person in the game where the people where where they're able to make the game, where these people made the game? But if that's the case, why is almost everything Lucy has gone through based on in this game?
Little furry companion, and it will be
If that
your
makes
job
sense.
to help her today. Instructions. Listen to the client's animal demands. Then use the items on the bottom row to customize them and get them all ready for their new loving homes. Remember, the animals from Lacey's Pet Shop should always be perfect for their new owners. Good luck. From there, as is to be expected with this kind of horror, the first one is pretty inoffensive, but it already starts getting strange with the second, where the cat is forced to be dyed and wear contacts and glasses for the owner. Lacey doesn't seem to mind this too much, though. As is expected, the demands made of Lacey get more and more ridiculous as time goes on, like making a bird emo, or Jesus Christ, what is that for?
What do you do to him?
Okay, this is gonna get pretty bad if that's the standard now, isn't it?
Wait. Turtle, but I want it to have teeth so it can smile at me. You see that? I have a turtle. That turtle smiles at me. He does that little turtle smile, that little cute little turtle smile. Let me show you guys. It's probably gonna be kind of blurry. Also, by the way, this gum is the best gum in the world. Just saying. Let me see if you guys can see it. This gum is the best gum. See? Ain't that cute? I'm just saying. A turtle does not need teeth to smile. My turtle, beautiful Spike, he does not smile at me. He completely hates me. Man, I don't like you either. I don't like you either. I love him. He's just so mean. Man, he bites me. He bites me.
Oh, okay. The next guy asks for
Like smaller
a
teeth?
bunny without ears, a tail, or legs because they're distracting? Lacey doesn't look too comfortable anymore.
Okay.
Next is the final pet.
Living with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headache.
How did I make a mistake? I didn't even
Oh,
touch the
great.
dog
It's
here.
a point and click adventure now.
Where am I? I can click here to go left. The cat is blocking my way. Should I try speaking to it?
Hiss, I won't let you pass. This is the most awful day ever. Hiss. I was chasing a bird, and the bird stole my skin. I've been hurt, so I will hurt others. When going to the left, Lacey finds the cat's skin and eventually returns it, and it says, "That's so kind of you. I'm cute again. Sorry for being so moody. Meow bad. You may pass." Then we proceed to the house.
I must click on the door.
Once the house is entered, Lacey first checks the right room to see a group of humanoid pigs eating in the dining room.
Good-looking cat.
Then
Who drew this? Because this is like some type of. Honestly, I gotta praise the artist who made this. Because, man, man, thanks for making me feel so uncomfortable but appreciating at the same time. Also, why are they eating flowers? I mean, it's better than the other whatever.
we get a quick sequence of text.
I've always known what you are. From the moment you first touched me when I found myself stepping over remains of your skin glued to the floor. You have no regards. I had none either. You squealed like a pig, just like a pig. This had been my childhood dream, the one you took from me. I collected all those bruises for years. My spine hurt as if a needle went through each segment. Once I got used to it, I didn't think about it anymore. But you made me think about it forever when you made that mistake. You made a mistake. You took my angel away. You took my angel away. You took my angel away. You took my
They're gone. Then Lacey goes to the left. It's the living room. She says,
Is this
I feel like
her
crawling
uncle's
inside of
house,
it.
or
Please click it. Yes, I know no one forced me back inside. But this pain just hurts so comfortably. Oh, I found a key in the middle of my edgy moment. Now it feels dumb.
upon re-entry to the main hall, all of the pictures change to that of a dog, and it returns to normal just as quickly. We go upstairs.
Uncle, have you seen Puddles anywhere? I can't find her. I checked everywhere. Everywhere. Stop laughing.
Lacey checks the bathroom.
It's always filled with blood in horror games, but this is just lemonade. I've tasted it. I'm not afraid of myself. Let's look just for a little bit.
Why is the bathtub full of lemonade? Is it strawberry lemonade? Is it strawberry lemonade? Is it red lemonade? Actually, I had red lemonade before. I think it was just cherry. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't like it. Why is there a bathtub full of lemonade?
Then we get a terrifying sequence.
And it sticks and it smells. Oh, I get it now. Someone melted here. Pulverized remains enter my pores, blood and the rest of an eye. I suck it all up. My legs smell and turn yellow.
Do you like playing your computer? I make lots of games for you in one of those slides. These are the real girls' games. Some of the real girls. These are the real girls.
Go back.
We re-enter the hall. Now all that's left is rooms 1 and 2. Lacey's room.
But it never was real. It was just a bizarre story that somehow happened to my life. But it never was real.
Is that pig? Is it another pig?
I dreamed that it was me.
Is it the dog?
Killed 2 years ago. And that's honest.
I was thinking of getting a cat this time. Yes, a small fluffy kitten. I really, really want a cat. We would do all sorts of stuff together, like getting ice cream. I could have some right now. I'm so hungry right now. It's been days. But I just can't leave. I can't. He's still under the bed. He'll look at me. But after all of this is over, maybe I could go shopping. I could go to a record store and buy CDs of my favorite songs. I will have so much fun. It will be so fun. I will listen to them all day long.
What happened to Lucy's dog?
My sweet little doggy. My little angel. I couldn't take it anymore. You can hurt me all you'd like, but you weren't allowed to take it from me. I will let you rot. I can click here to end it all. Should I light myself on fire and wake up? Goodbye.
For years it was barking at the wrong tree. Heard about his sins becoming too visible on his skin. He always worried about the serious things. But me, when I was turning his back, I was the dog that pulled his neck.
Phew, it was just a nightmare.
I only then realized the other co-founder, Rocio, was hiding a lot of things from me. We went our separate ways in like 2010. I'm not even sure she's still alive, to be honest with you.
And that was Lacey's pet shop. Jesus Christ.
What to say, honestly.
Let's try to break this down. So,
I think
the main theme being explored here is obviously about Lacey's pet, which is expertly introduced in the form of a pet shop flash game. We also learned a decent bit about the people who actually created Lacey's, and we know that someone is interviewing a character named Grace to get some information clarified, and even she doesn't know where the game's original creator went. We also learned that the website that originally hosted Lacey Games was called LaceyGames.com and began in 2004. At the 6-minute mark, the video changes into a point-and-click adventure in which we get to see an abstract interpretation of Lacey's childhood home. I believe the pig people we saw in the dining room could have been a representation of the way that she sees her family, or at least her uncle, considering she goes on to describe him as a pig right after. However, considering the size of the house, I don't think she lives with the rest of her family, assuming they still exist, because there were only 2 bedrooms upstairs. In the living room, she comments on the gruesome painting on the wall, saying it's pretty. And here, as she crawls into the cage willingly, I think this is where we unlock some pretty deep symbolism. Lacey grew up being abused. It's all she's ever known, and I believe the cage represents her feeling of being trapped in that cycle of abuse. But despite all of that, she finds a painful comfort in being in the cage, being in the situation. Once this trauma has established itself as normal, leaving it for the comfort of other people's definition of normal can be indescribably difficult. But to outside observers, leaving a traumatic or abusive situation might seem really easy sometimes. I mean, the key is right there. Well, Lacey found her key. The scene in the bathroom is one that I have the least explanation for given current knowledge, but I couldn't help but be astounded by this part. I'm not afraid of myself. Let's just look for a little bit. I'm Lacey. It's a sequence with an indescribable sadness, and the part after is one of the most disturbing and uncomforting things I've seen in internet horror. If I had to give an explanation, I believe this sequence could be implying that Lacey games were created as an outlet for the original creator's own trauma within the universe, and we don't really know where that creator went because Grace...
Or maybe this mirror scene is showing that Lacey blamed herself for all the abuse she has gone through with her family and her uncle. And she blames herself and looks in the mirror and it's like, man, this is all my fault. But now she looks in the mirror and she's like, nah, this is not my fault. But the nightmares, like this thing is telling her, no, it is your fault. Failure, mistake, shit like that. So, but she's like, no, it's not my fault. Although, who is under the bed?
Says that they
I mean,
fell out of
I'm
contact in
thinking the
2010.
uncle. But I'm thinking the uncle was like, but it wasn't shaped as a pig, so was that really the uncle?
And that
Or
she doesn't
maybe
even know
her
if that person
stalker.
is still alive.
Maybe it's her
Remember when I
stalker.
said Lacey had found her key just now? Well, that key was killing her uncle. It was so simple in retrospect that it made her feel dumb. After all, he killed her angel, the only thing that was keeping her together. Of all the terrible things that he had done to her and said to her, he had finally made the most crucial mistake, and he didn't even know it. Obviously, she didn't know what to do with his body, so she stuffed it under the bed until it was rotten. Then she woke up, as if it was just a bad dream.
Oh, okay. So the uncle killed the dog. I don't know why. Like, you gotta be a horrible. I'm sorry if you hear noise. That's my brother. His room is literally like right up there. He likes to jump and play basketball in the house. I don't know why, but yeah. But I'm not like if you hurt animals, you're evil, bro. Like, what did animals ever do to you? Like, I got animals. I got a cat. Got a dog. Got a turtle. Yeah, we are nice. We love animals over here. I don't get that.
Throughout the Lacey series, Lacey has always died at the end of every episode. For someone who never really did anything wrong, unless she herself had something done to her, it's tragic that
It has to but with the first game, I don't think like Lucy does she really die? Because I think when she finally passes away, it's like in the second game, Lacey's diner. But we had to figure out the order these games in. So first, I think the first game, I think it's Lucy's Pet Shop. Then the second one is Lucy's wardrobe. Um, and I think the last game. I mean, now we got a whole nut. I think okay, probably we got, but like I think the last game is Lucy's diner, where she tries to get over it. She tries to get over her trauma of everything, but it's just too much, and she kind of ends everything.
She's consistently met with some of the worst possible things that can befall somebody. It's evident that Lacey has almost no regard for herself, and she seems to be living to make others happy. In all of these games, she's trying so hard to please the people around her. Her uncle, her dog, her customers, but it's never enough. And everyone has a breaking point. Within the confines of these games, Lacey is doomed to die over and over and over again. And there's nothing she can do about it.
That's saying this universe is saying.
The next episode, which is a whole...
Alright, my the people who just texted me was my mom. My mom made me dinner, so I'm about to get my dinner, and yeah, I'll be right back. It'll be quick, just gonna grab me from. I'm back.
26 minutes long, is titled The Disturbing Rabbit Hole of LaceyGames.com. It opens with a full version of the song, which was briefly heard at the beginning of the previous video. The music video introduces us to two new characters, Lacey's friends, Macy and Jay. The song is a banger too, but once it reaches its end, a scream is briefly heard before we cut to an amazingly stylized section depicting a conversation between Grace and Charlie. We didn't previously have a full name for Charlie, only a username from a video description, but we can safely put together that they're the ones we've been watching actually play through the games this whole time. Grace tells Charlie that the scream at the end of the recording was actually Rocio, the other founder of LaceyGames.com, who sang and voiced as Lacey. Apparently, this was very stressful for her, to the point where she would scream in the studio bathroom for everyone to hear, and then the recording happened to capture one of those instances. Charlie pressures Grace, asking what was wrong with Rocio, but she says she never bothered to ask, and just assumed that Rocio was, quote, a little cuckoo.
Man, y'all some L friends. I don't know if you guys are friends or just co-workers, but you guys need to even if you don't like the person, the company isn't going to be good if we're all just kind of just we're all not checking up on each other. If one of my coworkers literally is screaming in the bathroom, I'm not going. I'm going. I'm not just gonna be like, man, I thought she was just a little cuckoo. I'm gonna like check up. You need a break? Can you still do this by Monday?
At this point, you've probably noticed a bit of a strange pattern between the previous video and now. She's very willfully ignorant when it comes to Rocio and all of the bad things that came out of Lacey's. She never bothered to ask why Rocio was feeling so stressed, and also never bothered to figure out if she was even still alive after they lost contact in 2010. And this seems strange to me because I assume that Grace and Rocio must have been close at some point to start the entire website endeavor together back in 2004. After that, we get to see what LaceyGames.com's homepage actually looked like, and it includes way more than just a handful of games we've gotten to explore so far. Some of these include Lacey's Love Meter, Macy's Horoscope, Macy's First Day of School, and Lacey's Makeup Parlor. Next, we get to see the About Us tab of the page, which ironically says that LaceyGames.com was meant to be a safe space for kids to play, and we know how that turned out. Below that is some brief character information. Macy is described as knowing all about astrology and astronomy. Lacey is described as a seeker of adventure, being a bit of an airhead but always friendly and appreciative of fashion and music. And finally we have Jay, who's the cool, outgoing tomboy who loves skating and rock music. While scrolling through the page, Gracie and Charlie begin to discuss their favorite characters. And after Charlie mentions Jay was their favorite, Grace says that Jay gave her the creeps, because Rocio, quote, permanently killed off the character in 2009. Charlie wonders why she can't remember anything like that happening, and to which Grace just dismisses it as trauma repression, and tells her to just play Jay's skating game. And after a brief loading screen, the game begins.
She's hiding something.
The game is super simple, both in how it controls and how it looks. When Jay hits the floating arrows, she speeds up until she reaches the goal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Charlie isn't very good at video games, so we get 2 deaths before anything weird can actually happen. Once level 2 gets completed, the screen glitches and freezes for a brief moment, and the numbers 0, 13, -2, 0, and 0 appear on screen. And to be completely upfront with you, I have no idea what these numbers mean, and I'm probably not going to bring them up again. So hopefully someone smarter than me can find some kind of meaning in them. On level 3, Jay hits an even faster boost section and starts zooming through the stage. At one point, the weirdest looking bird I've ever seen flies by for like a split second and then it's just gone. And Jay gets stuck flying through the void after the game suddenly runs out of buildings for her to jump between. Then the finish line jumps into view and we move on to the next level, which is where everything starts to go wrong. With little warning, suddenly Jay is thrust into an insanely fast speed boost, now going so quick that the countless stop signs zooming past her are unreadable. You killed Jay. It gets interrupted by a prompt to email a friend the score of the game, and we return to our conversation between Grace and Charlie. Charlie questions why Rocio would expose children to stuff like this, to which Grace once again dismisses it as her just being crazy. We then go on to learn that Grace didn't again dismisses it as her.
Alright. There are 2 things that are going on with Grace. Grace is, 1, hiding something that we need to find, or 2, Grace is such a bad friend, she looks suspicious. None of them are good.
Just being crazy. We then go on to learn that Grace didn't know anything was wrong with the skating game until she started getting her inbox flooded by angry parents. And even then, she didn't believe them until she checked the game for herself. After that, Rocio continued to mess with the website, deleting all of Jay's games and making the character vanish from existence. That is, until she started appearing in other games. Now we get to see one of the games that was on the homepage before Lacey's makeup parlor. Everyone loves feeling pretty, and Lacey is here to help with her super awesome makeup skills. Use your creativity and imagination to give the clients makeup looks to die for. When you're done, you can save or print your creation to share with your friends what you and Lacey did. The clients are lined up and waiting for you to make them beautiful. As you might have come to expect by now, the first couple clients, who have gorgeous character designs, might I add, get their makeup done without anything strange happening. The third client, though, has a bit of a face drooping problem, but fortunately, the player can fix her. The next client seems fine at first, but then a worm starts approaching her from behind the UI. Oh, let's go ahead and fix that. How about the next client? Well, her eyes aren't very pretty. Let's just close them. And the next client? Oh, well, there isn't one. Where is the next client?
No,
You okay,
no,
Lucy?
no. I'm not here. She's not here. This isn't happening. No, 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 no. I look so ugly when I grieve. When I'm crying. No,
this is
no,
when she
no,
was
no.
crying in the
No,
bathroom.
no, no. She's just a client. She just needs makeup. She just needs her makeup done. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. She just needs to get her makeup done. Yes, 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 yes. Like me. Yes. I just need fixing. I just need makeup. Yes. 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 Let's go. Wow, you look so beautiful. Silly Jay. Oh, silly, silly Jay. Please collaborate. You just need to stand still. So I can fix you. Maybe if you just used some makeup. Maybe if you were a little more feminine. You wouldn't have. This wouldn't. Just need some.
I wish it didn't happen when I got my food. Now I just feel uncomfortable.
University of Phoenix is built for real life. At some schools, to save money, you have to move fast and load up on courses. We keep it simple. Take one course at a time with fixed, affordable tuition. Get started at phoenix.edu.
Finally, we continue the conversation between Grace and Charlie, but this time, the interface is a bit gory. According to Grace, this thing with Jay wasn't a one-time thing. She was showing up dead everywhere throughout the website, traumatizing a bunch of kids in the process. And Charlie then asks a great question. You didn't stop, Rocio? And what does Grace say in response? There was nothing I could do to stop her. She was so weird and gave me the creeps. None of it was my fault. I just left. It wasn't my business. Throughout the rest of the conversation, this dismissive trend that Grace has been showing the whole time continues. Charlie asks if Grace is even remotely curious as to what happened to Rocio, and Gracie initially says she's actually glad she has no idea where she went. And during the conversation, a strange untitled exe file appears behind the UI, and eventually it moves to become visible. What this is, I don't know, but considering the timing, it might have something to do with Rocio. Finally, after some pestering, Charlie gets Grace to agree to looking into where Rocio went, and the video ends with a goodbye song from Lacey.
The day after you were gone, I wish for all beauty to die. I wish the sky was tinted red, just like what I felt inside. Millions of crying people howling for me, for rain to fall, rain heavy all the day, for everyone to bleed from their mouths and their eyes. But today was just a normal, sunny day. So was the next, and the next, and the next.
Finally, we get the credits, where Macy is seen comforting Lacey, her makeup ruined by her tears. Before we move on, I want to point out some of the finer details that I didn't already cover. I'll go ahead and cover them in order, but I'll be skipping the ones where I don't have much to say. First off, at 10:24, a brief freeze frame appears with lots of distorted text and a black silhouette of Jay. I can't make out exactly what any of the text says, except for one phrase, a proper girl. This is the first hint given to us that the reason for Jay's death is because she didn't fit the standard for what a girl should be like. She wasn't feminine enough. A bit later at 10:50, we briefly see an exchange of emails with the header "concern over Lacey's game's character." Although the first two emails are really hard to decipher, I was vaguely able to get the gist that the original email is from a mom concerned that Jay looks and acts too much like a boy, and that it's a bad influence on little girls, the target demographic of the website. The second email I pretty much can't read at all, but the third almost seems purposefully less blurry than the first two. It seems to say, I can definitely agree that a character that says I'd only be caught dead wearing makeup in one of her games is not a role model little girls should be having. I don't know why they couldn't just keep Lacey and the other one and get rid of this boy-girl thing. Let us know about updates on sending emails. Maybe also block it in schools until then. And after that, we can see Rocio's very clear reply. Careful what you wish for. So now we have that bit of context. It seems like Rocio might have actually done this to spite people complaining about Jay not being feminine enough. Jumping forward to the makeup parlor section, a frame at 1227 says, "The power of makeup, hide undesirables with illusion." At 1448, a frame with a picture of a morgue and red text can be seen. It reads, "Vanity doesn't die. You are not excused from..."
Alright, guys. I'm about to put my food away. Just give me a minute. Alright. You guys can't see me. But that's so, like, that's total BS, bro. So what? Also, Grace, like, bro, you serious? This person has been putting references to her traumatized life in your games, and you're just like, I just never thought about it like that. She was so weird. It's not like when we start voice acting, she started screaming in the bathroom because how much stress she was under. Yeah, I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do. These type of people who are like so clueless, sometimes you have to like, what's the word? I feel like when people be like, "Oh, I don't understand," or like, "You have no idea what you're talking about," I think those people have blindfolds on. I mean, obviously, you have to listen to them to understand what they're trying to say, and you realize that they are speaking gibberish. Nothing was gibberish. Any kind of gibberish. Yeah, not no idea what is going on. They don't pay attention to things that are pretty self-telling, and yeah, yeah, and it makes them more irritated. It said they have this I don't really care attitude, and it's just kind of like, why didn't you care? I mean, one of your friends that you knew since the 2000s is having a mental breakdown, and you're over here just like, man, she was so weird. Weird. Like, she put references in your game, she was stressed out, and she just disappeared, and not once she was like, man, I wonder what happened to her. Man, that's a crazy L friend, honestly. L friend moment, crazy L man, L friend. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. That scene very kind of made my appetite disappear. Like, made my stomach hurt, honestly. So to make it better, guys, I have a cookie. I got another one for you. You, it's kind of like, for you to understand how it tastes. It's kind of like a flaky, um, coconut flavor, but with no coconut. If that makes sense.
Vanity yet. You still can't be looking bad now. I can fix you. I can fix you. This is probably my favorite freeze frame of the entire episode. This frame appears before we have the wider revelation that Lacey is working in a morgue, and when I first saw it while watching the episode, it was really thought-provoking for me. I really like how the idea of makeup being used to make people look pretty both alive and dead is expressed here. Another frame appears between clients at 16:14, and if you ask me, I'd say that probably looks like a dead body. I think by now, it should be safe to assume that the makeup parlor game was actually Lacey working in the morgue the whole time, which explains the gore moments with the clients where they needed to be fixed, and the presence of Lacey's gloved hand actually appearing in both the parlor and morgue sections. Skipping forward to the scene with Lacey handling Jay's corpse, at 20:50, a frame with disturbing imagery contains text that reads, "Smile for me, girl. I wanted to cry so hard I'd vomit."
People who are afraid of people who are afraid of this, man, I understand the fear, but I'm not actually scared of it. Honestly, I kind of want to touch it. I want to see how. I was about to say something extremely crazy, not gonna lie. I was about to say something so crazy until I catch myself. You'll understand. Yeah, never mind.
But I smiled. I smiled because... Why does it matter? I'm here for display. I have to be pretty. And you don't look pretty when you cry. In the final musical number performed by Lacey, behind her on the wall we can see concert posters for her band, with now cancelled performances considering the loss of a member. The lyrics of the song are quite tragic, with Lacey expressing that despite her immense grief, the world seemed to move on without Jay so much easier than she did. The days after were just one bright sunny day after the next. Now, the final section of the video went by very quickly. If we slow it down a bit, we see pictures of what seems to be Rocio bleeding and caught in countless cables. We saw a very similar visual in the previous episode as well. Among the flashing images, there's also a piece of art which shows Jay bleeding from the mouth with text that says, "Dead girls don't cry." We then see frames seemingly depicting a conflict between Lacey and Jay, with Jay violently attempting to choke Lacey, and throughout this the 5 stages of grief also flash by in big, bold red text. And that's the last detail that I wanted to showcase. But what does it all mean? What's the underlying message here? The rabbit hole of LaceyGames.com mainly tackles the cultural concept of femininity and how it can be damaging if taken to the extreme. Obviously, the act of appearing or acting feminine in and of itself is not any sort of issue. However, when you judge somebody else for not conforming to your own idea of the concept, such as those who criticized Jay for appearing
Kind of like, I'm not trying to take it away, but because I'm a man, it's kind of like when men take masculine way too far, calling everything that a guy does cringy or not masculine enough, not man enough. Now, I'm not saying there's some things as a man you should be know how to do, like wash your butt, cook, and change a tire. I think that's pretty much the main 3 things you need to know as a man to do. Wash your butt, know how to cook, and change a tire. Those are the 3 main things you need to know as a man. But people like be taking these things, you need to be a man, you need to be bigger, stronger, too much to the extreme. And that hurts, other men that are just trying to be themselves. Sometimes they're not even like they're not even, you know, what people be like, gay people are not masculine. Like masculine men who are gay are not like masculine. I seen a gay person beat up a very big dude once. It was the most funniest thing I saw on the street. It's just a very bad stereotype that no one should really be saying, or because what makes a man, how much of a man you are to, like, how can you judge other people for being how manly they are? What makes a 100% man? This also goes into like cartoon stuff and too. Like some people will hate on Steven Universe just because he's not a powerful, muscular, strong man. Steven Universe is about like a show about feelings. But because some men don't like to talk about their feelings, they hate on shows that talk about their feelings. But y'all left the Owl House alone as soon as y'all. Yeah, I'm just saying. But sorry, some cookie got in my reason why I'm doing this. Some cookie got in my braces. Now, also with that joke, send him to Ghana and forget. Not gonna lie, that's kind of funny, but but that's also like, but when you truly mean that, like when a joke starts becoming real, it's just kind of like, okay, chill, 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 bro. No one needs to go to Afghanistan. No one needs that.
Too much like a boy, all you do is make yourself bitter and hurt the other person. With regards to makeup, it's a similar situation. There's nothing wrong with makeup on its own. However, the moment you make makeup a requirement to designate someone as being pretty, that's where I think it becomes a little stupid. But that's exactly what the makeup parlor game does. Even in death, makeup must be applied to make people's bodies look presentable, to fix them. And it's not like there's anything inherently wrong with that process, it just has an interesting parallel with the use of makeup on living people who feel as if they need to look prettier to conform to a standard that they themselves had no part in setting. In reality, there is no one correct way to look. In my opinion, nobody should ever feel obligated to present a certain way if it's not something they enjoy doing. I think everyone should be able to present themselves however they want, as long as it isn't damaging to them or the people around them. And if we flip the perspective on the third party, if you obsess over whether or not other people fit into your own definition of what they should be doing with themselves, you're probably going to end up causing more harm than good. And I believe that is the message of this episode. Overall, Lacey's covers a lot of interesting subjects in unique and intriguing ways, but I think the main theme at play here is the failure to meet expectations. In Lacey's wardrobe, Lacey needed help picking a cute outfit because the cute guy she was meant to go on a date with would obviously expect her to dress nicely for him. In Lacey's diner, Lacey failed to meet the expectation of her customers, who were very hungry and impatient, and she literally died as a result. In Lacey's pet shop, the exact opposite was the case. She tried her hardest to fulfill the expectations of her customers, and, well, we saw how that one worked out. And finally, in Rabbit Hole, we saw Jay fail to meet the expectations of those who considered her to not be feminine enough. Lacey was also struggling with needing to be perceived as pretty because she isn't pretty when she cries. But how can she not cry after what happened? Of course, this ties back into the other themes of trauma, abuse, and the process of coming to terms with and moving past these things. In Lacey's pet shop, she frees herself by, for lack of a more graceful term, ridding herself of her abuser. In every episode before Rabbit Hole, Lacey always died at the end. But this time, she didn't die, but she did lose a part of her, a close friend that she can never get back. And the way that she processes that grief through song, through art, through the comfort provided by Macy, that's an important message. We still have many questions left that need to be answered in the series, though. The main one, which I think is on everyone's mind, is what happened to Rocio? We've heard a lot about Rocio's strange tendencies and personality, as well as seen firsthand what she's willing to expose children to in the form of her own online games. It seems like a lot of what Rocio was doing was out of spite. We've also seen lots of visuals depicting her wrapped up in wires, injured or bleeding. Perhaps her character is a parallel to Lacey, someone who has experienced lots of hardship and pushback related to abuse and the expectations of femininity that weren't even her fault. Hell, if someone went through even a fraction of what Lacey does in the games, could you really blame them for acting out? I don't think Grace is off the hook, though. Although Charlie seems to just be our protagonist in the sense that they're the lens we're seeing everything through, I feel as if Grace is more important. Grace is hiding something from us. Her dismissive behavior seems strange to me, though it could just be a tendency to deflect responsibility and wanting no part in the mess that Rocio left behind. But I feel like she still should have stepped up to take some sort of responsibility, to try and do something about it. There's also, of course, the mystery as to why Jay and Lacey were fighting in the brief visuals that appear at the end of Rabbit Hole. If I'm correct in my line of thinking, when I say Lacey may be a parallel for Rocio, then it would make sense as to why we'd see Jay strangling her, the person technically responsible for her removal and subsequent death. But then again, who knows? I could be completely wrong. That's the beauty of interpretations. If we want the truth behind the questions left behind, we're just gonna have to wait patiently for the answers. I don't think any other piece of horror has ever been as thought-provoking for me as Lacey's has been. The writing, art direction, sound design, every single aspect of the series just knocks it out of the park. Huge, massive kudos over to Ghost Tundra, series creator, who makes some of the best art I've ever had the pleasure of watching and analyzing. Lacey's is truly horror cinema. I had a lot of fun putting together this video, and I'd love to hear the theories you guys might have regarding the series and its future. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It would be pretty cool. Anyways, that's gonna be all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.
Alright. Now shout out to Max. Shout out to him. Let me get that. I really like. I mean, no, I don't like. Well, I mean, I do like, but you know what I'm talking about. Basically, I like how this is giving out a message. If you see someone hurting, ask, at least talk. I mean, talk. Grace was such a bad friend. It's like, bad friend. She forced herself to be oblivious to what was going on around her. The other girl was just brilliant to what was even going on until it's probably at least too late. Probably too late. Now the girl who made these games, I keep forgetting their name, except for Grace. But I'm just saying I like how these games are trying to give a message, and the message truly is you don't know what a person is going through, you don't know what their trauma is, and you don't fully understand until you talk, you understand, and you're trying to make them feel better as much as you can. I know sometimes it's hard to talk to people, have conversations, especially when the conversation ends very awkwardly, but if you can change just one thing, Dang, dang. I think that's all worth it. Let me look at the comments. Just realizing something horrifying in the first game. A lot of SA victims are asked what they are wearing while it happened. For Lacey, it didn't matter what she was wearing because in the end results, she always going to be the same. Dang, that's tough. I noticed in Lacey's pet shop when the pig were showing they were eating flowers. When a girl loses her virginity, and it is sometimes called deflowering. So the pigs who represent her uncle eating flowers is pretty good and messed up. So okay. The comments are cooking. They're cooking. These are these are real girl games in a line that will always go hard. Jesus Christ, 2213. You spit, my lord. Um, I look so ugly when I cry. When I give is such a heavy phrase for phrase. The word can't stop after someone important dies is so unfair. Let me try to read one more. Oh, I didn't know Game Theory made a video on it. Something about Lucy game wardrobe. It is realizing if you think about it, the player is basically like wait. If you think about it, the player is basically like an abuser in that game, forcing her to do things she doesn't want to do. She literally panics for you not to do it. This dressing her up however you like, etc. Uh, mm, okay. Now that was Lucy Games exploring childhood trauma. This video is probably gonna come out tomorrow, and don't worry, I'm not gonna lose this video like I did the F and F one. Man, that was a good video though. If you guys want me to play F and F, I would. But yeah, that's it for me. Blue Sword out, and I hope you guys have a great day. God bless y'all. Actually, let me do a God's day. How can I help someone find God? I'm using the Haven app. So I asked this question. Okay, how can I help someone find God? Okay, Peter Passage 15 3 Passage 3 15. But certainly the Lord God in your heart, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason for the hope that is in you with mis miskindness and fear. Now I don't know what that word meant, so I'm going to use Siri to say it for you.
But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear.
Mhm. I think it's basically saying, basically, the Lord will give you the answers, and you have to give the same answers to every man that asks you, why do you give into God? Why do you submit to God yourself? I like that. What has God done for you when you are scared and alone? I'll tell you what God's done for me. I mean, it's dark as shit out here, so you guys can't really see, but I have a very nice room. But let's just say I had a blindfold on my head, on my eyes, and I took it off. I took it off. But I say that the reason why I ask that question is that you can just simply just say something. Even let's say it's not even about God. Just say something to someone. Something. Don't be like her. Don't be like Macy or whatever her name was. Don't be like her. A simple "Are you okay?" A simple one of those is good. Are you okay? It's as simple. It's that simple, bro. Doesn't have to be that hard. Doesn't be that difficult. My mom complains so much about my hair, and now they're telling me if I don't fix my hair, they're gonna shave it off, and I don't want that. So I'm just gonna do just a quick little something with it tonight. She said she was gonna do something with it, but clearly not because it's getting a little too late. But that's fine. I got my um, I got my comb. I got my brush. I got my hair lotion over there. Yeah, I'm cool. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice day. God bless y'all. And please, if you are not having the best time, if you are having memories of the past, if you keep getting reminded, or if you're just having a bad time, talk to someone. Someone, please, therapist, please. Like, I know right now it feels like you don't need it. You're trying to overcome it because it's your problems and you need to come over them. But sometimes you're just not strong enough. And I know that is very embarrassing to admit that you need help. Saying that, oh, I need help, it makes you feel like you're weak. You're not strong enough. But I'm telling you, if you asking for help does not make you weak. Asking for help is actually making you stronger than any other nigga. Think about how did the human race even evolve, my nigga? How did it evolve? You think every single man did something by themselves? No. The human race asked, helped, protect, come together. Basically, the human race has come together as a unit to survive multiple things. You think the human race will be what it is today if it didn't ask for help? No, it wouldn't. That's why the human race is strong today. Because we ask each other for help, because we love each other for the most part. So you're not weak just because you ask for help. The most strongest people you probably know or you probably see online, they ask for help. I'm just saying, you're not weak for asking for help. There are going to be some things you have to face by yourself. And you're going to fail. Or win, but mostly fail. But here's the thing, when you face those demons, who can you lean back on? Here's the thing, you'll fight your demons, and you're going to fall. And you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And you're going to fall. But here's the thing, when you fall, you can count on God and the people you ask for help to help you, to be there, to hold you up. What's that kind of Nuchu panel? It's that one, I forgot that boxing, excuse me, that boxing anime. Um, where is it? See, just like this. When you fight your demons, and I'm telling you, you are going to fail. You are going to fail. You will fail. But when you fall, you need to have niggas like these that are going to grab your back, pause, and push you back up into that ring. That's when you defeat your demons. God is right here. Your friends are right here. The people you ask for help are right here. On everything. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. And yeah, I had never watched this anime, but hey, I want to. Tell me if it's good or not. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.